gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard has called a stop to this contest at 27 seconds of round number 2, declaring the winner by TKO, Jared the Killer Gorilla Cannonier.
Hello, world. What's up, everybody? This is Dave here from the Fight Bananas podcast. We're going to have the Professor John Radford going to call into the studio. Guys, MMA is on fire. We cannot let a weekend go without talking to you guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe to the Fight Bananas YouTube page. Man, keep the love coming. I love it. Send in those DMs, Fight Bananas Official on Instagram. I got a couple things that are on my mind. 2 main keys. I'm going to get with John Radford. I'm going to talk to him about it. We're going to go bananas. So let me get John on the line. All right, guys. A special bonus. I thought I was just going to have the Professor John Radford on the line with me. We got the mighty Mixan, the Kingslayer himself, Chris Mixan. They're driving back from Island Fights 59. Shit happens sometimes in life. I almost don't even want to get into it unless you guys want to get into it. But there's 2 main things on my mind. How you guys doing tonight?
All right. Yeah, we're doing all right. He's feeling a little bit healthier, since he did make weight and everything like that. But we'll just say shit happens in the fight game, and on to the next one.
Chris Mixan always makes weight because he's a professional. He's a future superstar in the industry. So big ups to Chris. The next time's the best time.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So the 2 things I want to get off. The first thing we talked on off air. This I didn't even, guys, give you a warning, and I don't know if you saw it at all. MVP Bellator.
Yeah, we watched.
Okay, can I go off on a little spiel here? And then you guys react however you want. You ready?
So, wait, say that one more time. MVP Bellator. Okay, yes, yep. Go right ahead.
Okay, and John, you know this. I love WWE. I love HBO. I love The Rock. My favorite fighters of all time. Conor McGregor, Mazadov, Rousey, Lesnar. You know that. I love it. I love the connection, the entertainment, the swag. But MVP pisses the hell out of me every goddamn time. I cannot stand this man. A great, for one, give him some legit competition, Bellator. What the hell are you doing over there? You rank number 2 versus 32 every goddamn time. But MVP, a beautiful knee, a great TKO. Awesome.
Great job at smashing tomato cans.
Right. So disrespectful to the other fighter to do the wobbly dance to him and then to kind of keep on going at him. Man, just dance, go off to the side, do your thing, do a break dance, jump on the cage like Anderson the Spider Silva, the greatest middleweight of all time. Do whatever you want. But I think it's so disrespectful how he comes after the other fighters after a TKO. Guys, where am I at on this?
Oh, you're not wrong. He when he fights a guy at that caliber, if this was a trash talker that was at a higher level, then I say, you know what? Like when Jorge hit Ben. Ben's a high-level guy, a lot of trash talking. Ben went down and said, talk that, or, Jorge went down and said, talk that shit now or whatever. If you're fighting a high-level matchup and you get the best of it like that, then I feel you have a little bit more reign to do what you do.
Yes.
But when you're fighting caliber guys like Bellator's tossing at you, like Chris said, essentially the 2 different levels, like one's a can, one's a tomato can and one's a viper, essentially. You know what I mean?
Right.
Come on, it's getting old.
John, man, we used to ball all the time. We would go to the courts, and when we see someone who's 6 years younger than us, or maybe 35 years older than us, and we cross them over, we're not going to talk trash to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you should do that. But if you do it to someone like that's a great analogy by you, John. If the Mazadov Askren, they went back and forth. Askren was actually ahead of him in the rankings. So if you can kind of get the up on that guy, I'm all for it. Have fun, and Mazadov is being Mazadov. MVP, I just think it's disgusting. It's disrespectful. It's martial arts. It's supposed to be a respectful sport. I'm trying to bring respect back into MMA.
I feel you, man. Tell us how you really feel, brother. I feel you, though.
Man, I'm pumped up tonight. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm a little bit pumped up.
Nothing wrong with that. But you're right, man. You're right. We were talking about that last night when we were watching the fights about how it's just the 2 sides are just not evenly matched a lot.
Yeah. That's Bellator. What the hell are you guys doing?
They're too concerned about building up the names where they won't even give him a proper contest.
Right.
He showed in that, at least, he got knocked down the Douglas Lima fight. but he showed that he could hang with him. So give him some tough guys. He showed there's no reason to continuously pad the record.
100%. John, we've been talking about it the last 6 months. The UFC has been doing a tremendous job. We're seeing all the fights we want. We are seeing 1 versus 2, champion versus champion. We're seeing everything we want. We're seeing these once in a lifetime, the Mazadov Diaz. We're seeing every matchup we want. They just finally did Usman versus Colby Covington. That got announced officially last night. Every match we want
is a hell of a card.
Right. 3 title matches, 3 title fights, and they're all against 1 versus 2. It's like exactly what we're supposed to see in the game. Bellator, you're just throwing tomato cans with the guy with a little bit of flash to try to bring him up. It's not like that, man. Like, we can see through you, Bellator. We can see through this shit.
Yes, we can. That shitstorm is not covered well enough at all.
God damn it. X-Men 5, you're not as good as X-Men 1, and we can see through it.
Very true. Good analogy on that one. That's 100% correct.
Thank you. All right, that's the one thing this UFC Copenhagen show was an awesome show. It's a sleeper. Came up on us quickly. We were hopefully going to have Mike Beast Boy Davis on the card. Didn't happen, got out of it. Brandon Davis was on the card, which was cool to see. Just a lot of fights were great, but that main event, holy crap, we have a future UFC, not even a future, we have another UFC middleweight star. John, I know you love the middleweight division. What did you think of that TKO in the second round?
I mean, we were talking about it in the car as well. It's one of those things. He's now taken all the steam. We always say if, you beat the guy who's on a roll, you take all of that shine. And he did. He's number 9, but he's going to jump far up the rankings. So probably up to 5. He legitimately puts his foot in the door to say, hey, or his hat in the ring to say, hey, I want a title shot. We were talking about it. I think me and Chris came to an agreement. I think Paulo Costa versus Jared Kinnear would be a great fight for a title eliminator.
Absolutely.
Wow. I don't know. I think Costa should just kind of stay in this back burner. He should definitely fight Israel Adesanya or Robert Whittaker. I think he's 13-0, guys. I think he's earned that to go with that war against Yoel Romero. To me, Jarrett needs another fight. Let's look at the middleweight ranking so we can kind of see where we're at and see who's 3, 4, 5. I don't think there's no way that Costa doesn't get the next title shot. Am I off?
Or maybe do Cannonier against Romero.
You can do that.
Ooh, I like that, boys. There we go.
Athletes.
Yeah, you could do that. That would be fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, and that can be like a main event of one of a ESPN Plus show.
Oh, easily, just like it was, just like today's show was. He could have easily headlined that with Yoel Romero and no problem. You know what I mean? But let's not forget what Jack was doing in middleweight, man. He was on a roll. He beat Jacare. This was his time to really kind of solidify his shot at the title. And Jared, he stole that. So he's putting people to sleep. He beat Spider. He finished Spider, unlike Adesanya didn't finish Spider.
Right.
And it's just, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. This guy's hurting people. He got up. You saw how strong he was. Jack Hermanson holds people down. He held Jacare down, for a good amount of time and stuff like that. And Jared did not allow that to happen. He got up, and he kept it to where he wanted to. He showed that he has precision striking with that uppercut that landed. I call that the Chris Mixan punch.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think he really did. I really would like to see Paulo Costa, Jared Kinnear, but I could go for Yoel Romero and leave Paulo Costa in the back burner. But we also, Chris brought up a good point in the car earlier about the title fight. What could happen with that if it goes 5 rounds?
Okay, real quick, we'll get into that in 1 second. I kind of want to finish up Kinnear and what can feature stuff. And also, I do want to say one thing he said after the fight. I don't know if you guys saw it or watched it or whatever, and we'll get into that in a second. But just real quick, kind of 2 names you guys dropped out of this conversation, and they're fighting, I know next month, but the lineup could match with Darren Till moving up to middleweight, and he's fighting Kevin Gass. So I think the winner of that can fight Kinnear if you all doesn't want in this mix. To me,
I don't know if he wants to wait that long, though. Yeah. Because Jared Cannonier just fought, and in 2 months, by that time, he's healthy.
No, you might be right. I just think, and I'm usually the guy. I want them the next fight. I think Costa, should keep fighting and always earn your spot. If you're going to be the champ, you're going to be the undisputed middleweight champion, undefeated. You're going to fight Kinnear probably sooner or later. But
yes, I got a question for you about about the Darren Till Kevin Gastelum fight.
I love that fight.
Darren Till is going to fight him at his middleweight debut, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kevin Gastelum is off a loss, correct?
Yes, to Israel Adesanya.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no steam being built from Darren Till beating Kevin Gastelum except for the name itself right now. Kevin Gastelum's
ranked.
He's ranked, but he just is off a loss, and he's really not in the title picture. Even if he beats Till, he's essentially beating a welterweight that moved up for a debut. That's not getting him back in the title picture. In my opinion, at least.
Unless he beats him in entertaining fashion, then they'll put him back in the title picture because he fought for the interim title.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. But like with the undefeated fighter Paulo Costa, with Jared Kinnear doing what he did to a title contender in Jack Hermanson, it kind of skips over Kevin Gastelum coming off a loss, unless, like you said, unless he starts his Till in the first round, which I just don't see. And if Till beats him or whatever, I feel like Till's just now making a campaign at middleweight if he wins. It's not like he gets catapulted in any kind of way right now.
The Professor, usually you and I agree 97.2% of the time. You have opinions and assholes. We all have them, and you are 100% wrong on this. If Darren Till puts Kevin Gastelum to sleep in the first, with Darren Till's mouth, his Twitter game, and his style, he is a top 5 middleweight in the world, no doubt about it. He had so much steam behind him in the welterweight division. It's in Madison Square Garden. The crowd will be going crazy. Darren Till is a superstar in the mixed martial art game. So I disagree with that 100%. And let's go the opposite way. If Kelvin wins, he had maybe the best middleweight fight of all time and lost to a razor-sharp, undefeated, unbeatable Israel Adesanya. There's no steam loss there. I'm a still huge fan of Kevin Gass. So if Gass gets the win over Till, who's a megastar, Kevin is right there.
Let's also understand this. They pushed Till too fast, and they admitted that.
100%. I agree with that.
Now he's moving up to middleweight. You're not going to get pushed faster in a heavier weight category. They're going to give you some of the guys to see if you can move up the rankings. I mean, you figure, he is a big him versus Gass. Guy naturally.
Gass is number 4. They pushed him right to the number 4 guy.
It's the guy that's they pushed him to the number 4 guy, but look at the size difference. He's about he's going to be like Kevin Gastelum's a smaller middleweight. They didn't throw him in against Yoel Romero. They didn't throw him against a guy who's a massive middleweight that's out there. You know what I mean? They put him against a little bit smaller physique-looking dude. Darren Till's a taller guy, and it's going to give him, with that range, like Adesanya had on him, and if Darren Till uses it right, it just kind of gives him a really good matchup moving up to middleweight for him. You don't see Kevin Gastelum wrestling a lot. He may do it a little bit against Darren, but I know, but you don't see him wrestling a lot. He stands up a lot.
No, you're right.
It's one of those things. I know what you're saying, but like you said, this is 2.8%.
No, Professor, I'm telling you, I didn't have my Fusion coffee beans today. I apologize. I am hyped up. You got to go to FusionCoffeeBeans.com. Make sure you get your package in. It will mellow you out. You will not be as hyped as I am right now. Or you go to WarhammerFightwear.com and get the best gear in the industry, and you can look fly. If you were looking fly, you wouldn't be as hyped up as me. So I got to go after this phone call with you guys. I'm going to WarhammerFightwear.com and FusionCoffeeBeans.com, and life will be okay. I'm sorry. I'm hyped up. I told you this, guys. I'm going bananas. I'm literally going bananas.
That's why we do this, brother. That's why we do this.
I want to hear Chris Mixon's take on that middleweight championship. You and I had the fight breakdown, Professor, and I'm just going to go out on the limb. Dude, we killed it. That podcast, the numbers have been off the charts. It's been our #1 most downloaded fight breakdown ever. We have a whole nother week and a half of this card not even out yet. People on YouTube are commenting on it. So make sure if you haven't heard that yet, go to YouTube on Fight Bananas. Check out our fight breakdown, UFC 243, Whitaker Adesanya.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I got Robert Whitaker. I feel like he's the most slept on UFC fighter on the roster right now.
Right.
Even though he's champion. I feel like they don't give him the respect that he's due for taking on Yoel twice, knocking out Jacare, knocking out Brunson, knocking out all these guys. and really grinding his way to the top as an underdog in most of those fights. And I just feel like he doesn't get the respect that he deserves, and I feel like he gets Adesanya out there. I think Adesanya showed in that Kelvin Gastelum fight that, unlike you just said, that he is unbeatable. He showed that he is mortal and that he could get hurt, and he could get hurt bad by an awkward style and someone who could fight really well on the inside. And someone who fights really well on the inside and uses really awkward angles and mixes it up very well is Robert Whittaker. And I just feel like Robert Whittaker has the answer to stop Israel Adesanya.
No, you're absolutely right. He is an undefeated middleweight champion for a reason. He's never lost as a middleweight, Robert Whittaker. He's got absolute power. It kind of reminds me, we mentioned him already, he has like that Conor McGregor power in his hands. It's a God-touched Bobby Knuckles as a 2-year-old. Like, hey, you're going to have extra power in your right hand. And it is what it is. Anyone can win. Even in our fight breakdown, we kind of went back and forth, and I did pick Israel, and I won't get off of it. I'm going to stick with my pick. I just like the momentum that he's on. He fights often. He's been fighting 3 to 4 times a year. He kind of went through the legend of Anderson. He went through the war with Kelvin. Like, I've seen enough, and every time he wins. And until he loses, I'm going to keep on picking the man. And I could be wrong on this one, and I love your take on it, Mixan. But I'm gonna stick with Israel Adesanya.
Well, the reason why I wouldn't go with Israel is, you just said he ruined the legend of Anderson Silva, but that was a lot closer fight than it should have been, because Anderson Silva is an older competitor. He's well past his prime.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the war he had with Kelvin Gastelum. But what about the 2 wars that Bobby Knuckles had with Yoel Romero that he came out on top?
50 minutes of war. 50 minutes of war. 100%. I give you that point. My little rebuttal on that is, and maybe I will use your analogy of like you training with John. If me and Joe Rogan were doing a podcast and I didn't agree with Rogan, maybe I wouldn't attack him as hard as I do John, because me and John have a brotherhood and we love each other, and I just don't know Rogan to that extent. Maybe Israel knew he kind of had the fight won and didn't want to ruin or destroy the legend. I'm just throwing it out there, and I could be way off base.
So you're competing on the highest stage and the highest level.
Right.
If your goal isn't to murder the man across from you, you're in the wrong game.
Oh, man, Mixan is bringing fastballs tonight. I like it. There's no change-up or curves from Chris Mixan. He's salty.
I've had food and water, bro. Like, I'm back on.
He's back on. I love it.
He said, if you ain't trying to kill that man, you soft.
Wow.
Can't be having smoothies in this game.
So we hit up MVP, we hit up Bellator, we hit up the middleweight division, the UFC. Let's just trickle this in, and we'll probably end it on this one, guys. UFC Tampa in our home state of Florida. There's a huge, tremendous title contender female strawweight fight with Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Michelle Karate Hottie Watterson. Real quick, we'll break it down, maybe, John. We'll maybe have its own show. What do you see in this? What do you see in this fight? Do you like it as much as I do? It's the main event. It's a tremendous fight for the female division.
Do you want to go first? Or do you want me?
You got it.
Okay. It is a tremendous fight, and I'm glad Karate Hottie's getting her shot. She's worked really hard. She's come up and won some fights that you may not have thought she was going to win. And she's really on momentum. But like we always say, there's levels in this fucking game. And Joanna Jędrzejczyk is at the highest level at 115. She's up there with, the top 3. And that's just another level Karate Hottie's not going to get to.
Right. Wow.
I'm
this
going to
is
go in the opposite direction.
Okay. You go first, Chris.
I think that the Rose Namajunas fights and the Valentina Shevchenko fight kind of wounded the ego of Joanna. So I don't know if she's the same fighter that she was when she was having her reign at 115. And I think Michelle Watterson is on a tear. So, may the best woman win, but I'd pick Michelle Watterson to win.
Okay. This is where John and this is our 97.2%. I totally agree with you. Joanna's on another level. You said something to me 2 years ago, and it stuck with me. Some people just have someone's ticket, and Rose has Joanna's ticket. Other than that, her last 10 fights, other than Rose, she's 9-1. She's one of the best female fighters of all time, and I don't think she's ready to kind of be the stepping stone fight. I think she's going to win this fight. I think she probably has another title fight or maybe even one more title run in her. I think Joanna is on another level. We might see Joanna Rose 3 maybe in 2020. Who knows?
Ain't nobody beating Zhang, whatever that, I don't know how to pronounce that name.
Oh, no, you're right. Wang Zhang. She is a monster.
Zhang is her name?
Wheelie?
That's how you pronounce it?
No, it's like Wheelie Zhang, but I was just being funny and cute, I thought. I don't know. My fault.
You were, but I was going to roll with that. You would have had me call her that the whole time. I just know it's Zhang. She's a bad woman. And, I would like to see Jacek against her, but there's a whole other side of that woman when it comes to grappling and power at that level that, it may be too much. But, I think I like where Chris is coming, though, with the Michelle Waterson pick, but I just think he's wrong.
Right. And we'll end this thing, and what I'll play at the end is what Jared, the Gorilla Kinnear said, and I will kind of just wrap it up. I'll paraphrase it. I loved it, guys. He won the biggest fight of his career. He's in Jack the Joker's kind of homeland. It's his home turf. He gave so much love and respect to Jack the Joker. He goes, guys, I was 9th ranked fighter. Jack was number 4, number 5. He's beat 2 guys ahead of him. He didn't have to take this fight. I respect the man for taking the fight. And then he also threw out 2 people who passed away close in his life. I just loved how Jared had a moment. He could have challenged, Yoel. He could have said, hey, Reebok, pay me more money. He was really respectful. He gave a lot of love to the families of the people who passed away. I just thought it was tremendous, very humble, and I just thought it was a really class act what Jared did.
Oh, absolutely. You always love it when somebody can be humble enough to not take advantage of a moment and pay respect to everything that has going on in their life. You know what I mean? That's awesome. That's, like you said, you bring the respect back to martial arts. Right.
We definitely need it. Guys, man, get back home safe. We miss you guys. We got to get in the studio. I'm heading out to Las Vegas. I can't wait. I might have a couple things lined up there. But next week, we got a couple things lined up in the studio, Professor. It's going to be big like always. It's what we do. Chris, man, sucks. We said it. Shit happens. We can't wait. We can't wait to see you in that Island Fights ring. We're excited here at the Fight Bananas family. We have your back. And, man, we'll see you guys very soon. Any last words?
I appreciate it. Nope. All right, brother.
All right, man. Have a good night, boys.
You too, brother. Later.
What a great show. On the spot, Chris Mighty Mixan, the Kingslayer, in the car with the Professor. We made it happen. It's what we do. We had him on the End Still Nutrition line. End Still Nutrition, we thank you so much. You support us. We support you. We have your backs. That's what we do here at Fight Bananas. We want to connect with our sponsors. We want to be a family here, and we are. So check them out on Instagram at the Real End Still, or just check out End Still Nutrition and make sure you get that joint to Zitchu. It's the best. Your body will feel amazing. Definitely check them out. If you're in the Port Orange area, Central Florida area, and you want the best pizza in town, head up Arboto's Pizza. Check them out on Facebook, Yelp, all that good stuff. Port Orange, Florida, Arboto's Pizza. Man, we're so excited. Fight Bananas. It's been such a great month for us. We're on this momentum train, and we're just not stopping. We do not know how to stop. We will keep grinding. We appreciate everyone that's out there listening to us. Keep it on. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend. We're rolling. We're going bananas. And I'm going to leave this podcast with Jared. How humbling his speech was. And if you haven't heard it, here you go.
The hometown favorite. How do you maintain that calm?
It's easy, man. It's mind over matter. It's that simple. I make it a point to know that anything that I don't want to bother me is not going to bother me. I have power over the entire universe, and if I so see fit to let it enter me, then I will. But first and foremost, I want to acknowledge 2 people who we lost this year. One from my hometown, one from my team. Andre Emmett was a father of 2, a role model to a lot of people where I grew up, me included, a super good dude, an athlete, and he was killed and just senselessly killed by one of our own, and it was just tragic when it happened. Another one is Vincent Arredondo. We lost him tragically this year as well, and it wasn't a car accident, but it was very tragic, and I cried when I got the news. And I just want those 2 families to know that they're always in my heart. Vincent, I trained with him. He was a lightweight, but he was never hesitant to give me rounds in there. So Vincent is the man, Andre is the man, and those two will forever be in our hearts. I also want to thank the people of Copenhagen here in Denmark. Denmark is a beautiful country, so much fresh air. It was green, and it was just wonderful to be here. And these fans are awesome. They are, receiving me way better than the Brazilian fans last time. So hats off to them. This is definitely the happiest country in the world, and I look forward to coming back here again. I want to thank Jack for taking this fight. He was actually fighting down in the ranks. It was a huge risk for him, and I want to thank him. There's been a lot of people who turned down fights with me because of just that fact alone. But Jack is a warrior. He doesn't care who it is, where it is, or when it is. He's going to go in there, and he took it to me. Most people, they just back away. They fold under the pressure. He took it to me. He went for his shots like he said he was going to do. He felt strong, and that was just an honor to be in here. And he tested me. I was able to rise to the occasion. I appreciate him. I give him all the respect in the world for that, for making me a better fighter, making me a better man. And I hope I did the same for you, my brother.